Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the content, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can look me up at my website, which is www.garethcahoon.co.uk. Or if you'd like to support my ministry work that I do and the charities that I give to, you can do so at paypal.garethcahoon3@gmail.com. This one is about the Islamic Republic, a theocracy misread by the West. For nearly half a century, Western policy towards Iran has rested on a fundamental misreading, the assumption that the Islamic Republic believes like a conventional nation state, pursuing national interests. It has never been won by design, by constitution, and by the lived reality of its citizens. Iran is a theocracy in which the mosque is the state. The Quran provides constitutional logic, and eschatology shapes foreign policy. The regime's national resources are not directed towards economic development or social prosperity, but towards advancing a transitional Shia ideological project rooted in divine mandate. The misunderstanding has had catastrophic consequences. Western governments negotiate with Tehran as though it were a hostile but ultimately pragmatic state with negotiable grievances rather than a messianic system animated by theological imperatives. The category era enabled Iran to wage a revolutionary campaign across the Middle East, to stabilize multiple states and project military power through proxies from Lebanon to Yemen, all while Western diplomacy misread theology as rhetoric. The secular blind spot. Western policymakers shaped by Enlightenment assumptions and the separation of church and state believe governments respond primarily to material incentives, sanctions, relief, investment, diplomatic isolation. This logic collapses when applied to a system that claims its legitimacy from divine revelation. Western analysis treats religious language as ornamental, not operational, symbolic, not strategic. Yet Iran's leaders routinely justify policy through explicit theological reference. These are not metaphors, they are the blueprint. By filtering Iran's behaviour through secular categories, Western policymakers project their own world view onto a system that rejects it entirely. The regime behaves consistently, but its consistency is theological, not geopolitical. This is something that Keir Starmer could learn, because he thinks that he can appease the Islamic Republic and make peace, but his head is a barney. Ideological, not grievance. A major source of misinterpretation lies in Tehran's adept use of Marxist political vocabulary. Resistance, struggle, anti-imperialism. These terms resonate deeply with Western activists and institutions, creating the illusion of shared political language, but the terminology is a camouflage. The regime's true motivations are written plainly in its constitution. Clerical literature and military doctrine, they are religious, not material. Negotiation is not a path towards moderation, but a tool for delayed diplomacy buys time for an ideology whose end goal is expansion, not coexistence. The Constitution, theology is statecraft. Western officials rarely read Iran's constitution. If they did, decades of strategic misjudgment could have been avoided. It is not a bureaucratic character, it is a theological operating manual for governing a modern theocracy. Article 5, the Supreme Leader as the Mahdi's representative. During the occultation of the Wala era, may Allah hasten his reappearance. The waya and leadership of the Ummah dissolve upon the just edict and pious Mutagi Raqqa. The Supreme Leader is not a political executive. He rules as the guardian of the global Islamic community until the return of the 12th Imam. His authority is eschatological, not electoral, divine, not democratic. Article 11, the Islamic nation, not Iran. The Constitution declares that all Muslims from single nation Khomeini reinforced this. Nationalist people are of no use to us. With this declaration, Iran ceased to be a state defined by geography and became the headquarters of a global Islamic mission. Secular identity markers were replaced with Islamic ones. Dissent became religious betrayal. Society was re-engineered around a revolutionary theology. Articles 152 to 154, mandatory export of revolution. These articles obligate Iran to support the struggles of oppressed peoples worldwide. Far from the humanitarian language, these clauses codify ideological expansionism. A Western government may change foreign policy with elections. A theocracy cannot. Its mandate is anchored in divine obligation. The IRGC, a revolutionary army. The Constitution defines the IRGC as responsible for guarding and preserving the frontiers of the country, but also for fulfilling its ideological mission of jihad in Allah's way, that is, expanding the sovereignty of Allah's law throughout the world. This is in accordance with the Quranic verses. Prepare against them wherever force you are able to master, and strings of horses striking fear into the enemy of Allah and your enemy and others beside them. That's 860 of the Quran. This is not the language of a national army, it is the job description of a transitional revolutionary force. This is why the IRGC operates Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Gaza with religious fervour. Its battlefield is wherever theological purpose demands. This is part 1 of a 2-part one, so come back in the next one for the second half of this. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.